Councilwoman DeNoble's right. The judge suggested, hey, if the people of Bradley Beach could change their form of government. Well, we've kind of known that all along. Councilman Sexsmith sat right next to me and suggested that last year. I didn't think it was right then, but after with this lawsuit and everything, it seems to me that there's some kind of fatal flaw in this form of government. If we're at this impasse where, if the judge had made a quick decision, I'd say maybe there's not a fatal flaw, but the judge is like, I need to hear more from each side. It just seems to me there's some kind of fatal flaw where it can get hung up in this conflict between the mayor and council. So that's why I'm in favor of going through this process, letting the people of Bradley Beach decide, not letting the council. And just to be clear, reiterate what was already said. If we went all the way, if we went through this, people voted yes, they want to change, and they voted for the study commission and all that stuff. We all lose our jobs. So this does not happen much where a bunch of politicians are like, okay, yeah, we're all gonna like kick ourselves out of a job. I'm in favor of going through this process and letting the people of Bradley Beach decide if they want to do it, who they trust to be on a study commission, and then decide if they want to indeed change their form of government. So
yeah, so Council President Sexsmith last year made the comment, have we outgrown this form of government? It was February of 22. My discussion with him the day after was, number one, I wish that you would have given me a heads up that you were going to go through this dissertation, and two, where we are right now in town with a number of things we're doing, is this a distraction for us as a council? So it didn't come up again until just recently. The judge in this particular case didn't say, he referenced the fact that if you were going to change, he inferred that making a change should require looking at going back to the people and looking at a referendum. That was an inference he made. I don't view that as anything more than that, an inference. The judge needs to rule, and hopefully he committed to do that the first week of August. So hopefully he does that. I don't think we've outgrown this form of government, my personal opinion, but let's see what the judge says. And yeah, could we have order, please? I do think that there could be any number of motivations to move in this direction, but I think we need to let the judge forward.
Probably the most important thing, Mr. Weber just said it, but it really bears repeating. We're not sitting here making any decisions about whether or not we would change the form of government. Some of us may like it, some of us may not like it. Some of us may think it's not the form of government, it's for people sitting up here. So it's not, as I sit here, and I did encourage this to be put on as a workshop. We've had so many residents say change the form of government. We've had a judge in our recent lawsuit reference that's a possibility. Your residents, not you council, your residents could change the form of government. If we were to move forward with this, it's really us, the council, giving our residents the opportunity to evaluate this form of government. It's been in place 30 years, and I imagine a lot of people who have lived here for a long time would say it's worked pretty well for 30 years. An outcome could easily be, it works well enough, we've got a little kink here and there. Another outcome could be, as council president at the time Sexsmith said, maybe the commission would say they have outgrown, we collectively, residents, have outgrown the form of government. But it's really, really important, and I'm going to probably say this a number of times over the weeks and months ahead, if we continue to have this discussion, that it's not about this council, it's about the residents just letting all of us know this form of government makes the most sense for Bradley Beach, or if not, after they've done, as Councilwoman and Council President DeMarco just said, after they've done a lot of research, after they've been elected by their peers, not by us. We don't appoint, the mayor doesn't, no one appoints this charter group. You all, if we were to move forward with this, you all would elect them. All we would be doing was giving the residents the power to do this. And if nobody wants to run for the charter group, if there's no one out there thinks this is worthwhile, nothing happens. I'm just saying, whether the mayor says, I don't think it's a good idea, whether Al Gupta says, I do think it's a good idea, kind of doesn't matter what we think. Just understand that this would just be the council in the spirit of transparency, in the spirit of serving our residents, giving the residents the opportunity to evaluate our form of government. And ultimately, if anyone decides to change the form of government, as Councilman Weber just said, we're all out. We would be starting with a new form of government, new election. So it's a really large task. Town looked at this, 30 years ago, changed the form of government 30 years ago. Maybe it's worthwhile looking at it again and then deciding if it's still the best form of government for us. Thank you.